Hey, this is A-Town, and you're listening to the Rising Rush Podcast. All right, welcome to the Rising Rush Podcast, where we talk everything Dragon Ball Legend related, such as news, meta, hot takes, you name it. I'm your host, A-Town, alongside our hosts, Obsto, Desla, and Glow. And we're going to kick things off with the weekly reset as of August the 7th, 2024. We've got some Ultra Rising banners that have came back, such as the Ferocious Awakening featuring the Ultra Gohan. And we've got the Solidarity Assassin Hit. Both of those banners will be up through the 17th of August. We've got the Legends Summer Carnival that is now live in the game. That comes with a slew of events where we'll break that down, such as a featured raid that starts as of the 9th, which is yesterday, up until the 23rd. So go ahead and get those materials in CC. We've got the Summer Choice Battle that's also live through the 19th of August. We've also got some Zenkais that dropped into the game, such as the Super Saiyan Broly from the Second Coming movie. He is live in game. We've got the Blue Boys unique equipment. We'll talk a little bit more about that to see if it has made any kind of impact. We've got the free-to-play Goten that is also live from last week up until the 21st of August. Full Power Battle has also been released that will give you additional Z power for the free-to-play Goten that is live through the 21st of August. Main Story Part 16 that is live in game as well. Zenkai Rush Light has also returned. That'll be up until the 21st of August, so go ahead and get those easy level clears. I'll also be doing some catching up by reviewing the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku equip, and other means. So let's just go around the room and talk about our vacation. So I know a lot of listeners are probably like, yo, I haven't hit an episode in like so long. Well, we took a week break and now we're right back at it. How was everybody else's vacation? Did you guys enjoy the break? We'll start off with you, Glow. How was your break?
Oh, it was pretty good, pretty good. Got to enjoy myself. Went to Poconos for a bit, hanged out with some homies, took a vacation there. It's not that bad.
Hey, love to hear it, love to hear it. And then Desla, you flew around the world, right?
Yeah, flew around, drove around, you name it, I was doing it. For the last week of July into the first week of August, I was out of town down at North Carolina for a beach joint that both immediate family and extended family went on to, kind of split the cost on. It was pretty good time, pretty good time. And after that, I went ahead next weekend, flew down to actually see my grandma to go ahead and just put eyes on her and see how she's doing, all that kind of stuff. For like a weekend, nothing too crazy, but it was nice to go down to Boston for the first time in like a hot minute. So yeah,
Good stuff. Hey, remember, you got to send me the list of the places to go when I get to Boston in September. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get
hey,
some good
will
eats.
will do.
And then how was your vacation, Obsto? I know you just built that brand new rig, right?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, what's the boot time looking like?
I timed it. It's fucking like 12 seconds. If for reference, my old PC, I built it in 2015, and it was on its very final last legs. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. It would take like at the very least like 15 minutes to boot.
That's crazy. So you can literally like go make a sandwich, chill, relax, come back, shit still booting up.
And it'd take like another 10 minutes after that.
Well, I'm glad you got that brand new PC built. If I ever need any tips on how to build a PC, I'm definitely coming your way for sure.
Bro, it had gotten so bad, like my first PC, to the point where I could only run a single game, and it was the fucking Ocarina of Time port.
Oh my gosh.
I was in Ocarina of Time jail.
Hey, but Ocarina of Time, that should be hitting though. That's a classic.
I know it's a great game, but when that's the only game you could play, it gets a little old.
That's true. That is true. But man, we've also got the reveals and stuff that just dropped. We've got some pretty good nuggets of information, such as the equipment is getting rehauled with some additional ways to get the ratings up. How do you guys think about that? We'll start with you, Desert. Did you peep the reveals and stuff?
I did indeed. I had the chance to I think it aired on Friday, right? Like
Yeah.
yesterday? Yeah. I'll be straight with you. I don't know why the fuck it took 6 years to implement half that shit, but thank God they did it finally. But being able to, I think, fully soul boost a entire Zenkai character without having like individually like go to the like different panels that were like different from like the standard normal ones, or whatever, was a big W for sure. Being able to finally reroll slot one. Oh my god. I just, again, don't know why it took 6 years, but again, That's all well and good. I'll let it slide. And then finally being able to actually like do batch upgrading to where it's like damn near instant to actually be able to reroll shit. I'm telling you right now, people are not going to understand how much time that's going to save, and especially for content creators, I can promise you that shit's a godsend because I'm hearing horror stories about these like unique plats, like, taking creators like 600, 700, or 800 erasers, and with the way it used to work before this update's going to go live, hell on earth. I mean, you're literally going to be spending like what, almost 2 hours
Literally
upgrading that
2
equip.
hours.
Like, Jesus Christ, like, no fucking thank you. So overall, like, definitely a very healthy change that was very much overdue in the game. They finally come in with some quality of life goodness, and I mean, I really can't complain. And as far as the reveal itself, I mean, anyone who seriously thought that it wasn't going to be anything that related to Second Coming, you were just kind of misguided, is what I'll say. I'll be nice. I think that the Videl looks promising in terms of what she's doing. She might be the cohesion or glue that like movies is looking for to kind of like make it more of a unit rather than just like a bunch of like beat sticks that like have a couple of little cute gimmicks to kind of throw into the mix here and there. Z Broly finally getting an LF has been very overdue, but thank
Long
God they
time
did it.
coming.
And holy shit, does that LF look clean? I mean, damn. Like, I am personally someone who has like a guilty pleasure kind of relationship with Broly, is specifically Z, where I mean I'm not gonna sit here and like fully admit that oh my god he's just the coolest shit ever, but I mean damn, I can't even lie to you when I want to go ahead and turn my brain off and just watch some fist fly. I put on movie 8, I'm chilling, I'm in for a good time. But no, overall just very happy with how he's designed all that kind of stuff with what we know so far based off what they've given us for details. On paper, he seems pretty good. So, I mean, obviously, performance will maybe yield some different results in good or bad ways. But as far as what I gleaned, I think that he seems pretty promising. But overall, again, very, very good reveal. Very positive. Thumbs up.
For sure. And I'm really glad that they've decided to really up the ante with some of these updates, such as the equipment, the re-roll of the first slot, etc. Like, I feel like the game is going in a really positive direction as long as they stay on this trajectory and not have so many server issues. I mean, as long as they keep that nipped in the bud, I think they should be fine. But Glow, how are you going to, like, you're never going to get a break from your bank account, man. All these movie buffs, man. How do you feel?
Bro, I spent like 500 during the Annie. Now I gotta spend more. Bro, I gotta spend more just for this stupid I
Bro,
was
are you ready to summon for 3 LFs back to back?
Back to back.
Bro, I'm being so serious with you, I might be living paycheck to paycheck if it's 3 LFs back to back.
Dog, if you're dropping 500 on one celebration, brother, you're living paycheck to paycheck. I'm sorry.
Bro, I'm praying. I am praying that I can pull Broly easily in this like maybe 20k CC, save what I can for the next banner, and then hopefully, like they said, they didn't say 3 LFs. They just said 3 units. They would get characters from 3 movies. I'm praying one of the movies is just free to play shit. I'm praying, dog.
Nah, they ain't gonna do that.
It's gonna be an ultra. I hope you're ready,
bro. If it's an ultra, I probably have a guess of who the ultra is.
Who do you think? Who you got money on?
It's either Cooler, Final Form Cooler, or there's 3 options: Final Form Cooler, Metal Cooler, or the SS2 Gohan from the BoJack Unbound movie. It's one of those 3. One of those 3 is the ultra. I guarantee it.
I'm sorry, bro. This whole campaign just gotta be villains.
It's gotta be
premium rep. No.
As someone like, who literally every single release that we've gotten for the campaign has just been for villains, except for the Goten. And even then, the Broly Zenkai is targeting fucking powerful opponents.
I'll say this: if there is an ultra, there's a small chance. I highly doubt this nigga's gonna be on here, but there's a chance it's Beerus.
Gaki can enjoy some new representation.
Yeah, but he was during Annie.
Yeah, he's now part of the classic Z movies.
Yeah, he's not part of. Never mind.
Yeah.
They also specify they're only going to have Zenkais for like outside of Z movies, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Broly. I mean, not Broly.
That's what they should Zenkai LF Beerus.
It's cooler. It's cooler. It's 100% cooler.
I hope so, man. I'd love that.
We have to
I
see.
wouldn't.
But what is your take on the reveals and stuff, Opsto? Do you have any Android hints coming this way? I mean, 13, Android
I
13.
mean, like, again, they really seem to be hammering home with this campaign that they want to focus on the villains. So, and 13 as a character in this game has gotten zero representation since
Mm-hmm.
like the summer after first anniversary. And you could say that for a lot of movie villains, like fucking Slug
Like,
or like a Turles. The last time we got a Turles was after second anniversary.
mm-hmm.
But I think they could do a lot with, like, unironically, I think they can do a lot with like the 13 movie.
I hope so. Like, if they can just Zenkai, some of the older previous movie characters, like
How the fuck is that purple Trunks not Zenkai'd yet?
Any like
that's
Purple Trunks, Blue 13, the Blue Vegeta, 14 and 15, that all of them don't have Zenkais.
I think it's time. Like this campaign might just do it. 14 and 15 might get their Zenkai. I don't know if Trunks is gonna get his. I feel like even if they try to give his Zenkai, he'll have minimum impact on the meta, but just being a purple bench, either movies or hybrids or Vegeta clan buffer. But outside of that, I mean, I don't. The game is so far gone with power creep. I can't see how he's gonna make any kind of like respectable impact now.
Uh, honestly, I will say a conversation I had with someone, they brought up that we don't think damage is necessarily what's being power creeped because we just had to look back and point out the jump in damage between now and Fest is actually like really small. It's like not as big. We started looking back and we're just like low key the damage over the past maybe I want to say 2 years has not
Mm-hmm.
been actually like big. It's the damage creep has been defensive capabilities.
Yeah. The defense capabilities and the utilities within the kit of just doing crazy stuff like unique gauges and lock-ins
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah, and then the fact of like, okay, how many units do we have debuffing moves? How much power reduction do we have? How much key reduction or card draw speed and stuff like that's the stuff like the defensive mechanics. That's what's really getting power crept. Like last year. Like imagine this, right? Jiren last year, not last year, or yeah, last year, Yellow Jiren. He was only really scary on that first cover change, right? He was only
Mm-hmm.
that was like his most annoying thing. Compare that to Green Evil Boo, who is constantly annoying the entire match. That's a very big difference.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And that's why I have like these new Zenkais that come out nowadays, and we'll break down the free to or not the free to play the Super Saiyan Brawly on his impact. But I just feel like if these Zenkais or these units don't already have like cover change within the kit or whatever the case would be, I don't see how their impact is going to be meta breaking or meta defining. Like they got to be able to do more and give them more. Maybe add a unique gauge to an older unit that didn't have one before or something. Because I just like damage can only go so far. And maybe this year, as we pass like year 6 going into Legends Fest, they might up the ante with how damage is being scaled. Because I mean, look at where Part 6 started or year 6 started. They came out with 100% damage inflict, and then what Part 2? What are they at 100 or 110? And now with the new unit, what are they at, like 120 now or 110? I forgot, 110 or 120. Like they're already scaling up by 10%. So I guess we'll have to see how that goes. But overall, I think the reveals, reactions, I mean, it's promising. I love to see more updates to the game, so we're able to have more quality of life improvements, and definitely focus on like the lag in the invisible inputs. Like that shit is making me pull my hair out. So we'll have to see how that goes. But as for the next topic, let's go ahead and break down this platinum equip for the Kaioken Goku, because I know he's been out for like a week plus at this point, and I've seen like videos of him off of his initial release, and then he kind of just fell off a cliff. So what do you think about this unique equip? Do you think it brings him more value where he is meta relevant, or is he just dropped from like top 50 to top 40?
I mean, I wouldn't say that he is the meta. I would say that like Right now, I think he just barely makes like the top 20, and even then, I think that's a little generous.
Mm-hmm.
But as some of you might know, Kaioken was by far one of my most hated units to fight. So, like, I pray for his downfall.
Well, maybe you might get your wish because I mean he's got some pretty good stuff in his kit already, like the strike seal. They've given him like the additional ability to charge his unique gauge even faster, like it wasn't fast enough, and then getting more cards to combo longer. But I don't know if his damage is really there. Does have you tried him out with this unique plat yet, or have you run it against him at all?
I ain't got him, so can't do much with him on my end. So there's that. Um, as for facing him, still haven't yet. And I mean, it's a matter of where again, like he's just inferior to an Ultra who came out more than half a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. He is directly competing with Ultra UI and he's losing. There's no way around it. Like he's doing so much less than UI, it's not even funny. So it raises the question of why would you even bother using the guy if he's just like the sloppy seconds of an Ultra that came out again over half a year ago, which is an Ultra that you, if you're lucky, can barely argue for top 10, but like that's if you're being generous.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of where right now there's just no reason to use him. There just isn't. There's no need, no desire, no nothing. Just he's just kind of there, and I think that's going to be the precedent they're going to try and set with these ultra plats to where they're going to do the same thing they've been doing with these LF plats as well, where they make them good enough to be ran to where if you try and run them for shits and giggles, you're not going to want to obviously pull your hair out or some shit because of how fucking dog shit they are.
Mm-hmm.
But you should not be expecting any of these characters to hard carry your ass. It's not going to happen. Just because, I mean, again, we're in the position now as far as how long into this game's lifespan we are to where you can only give so much in a plat. That's just kind of how it is. And until Zenkai's come out for Ultras, which I worry about the day for that, but when that does eventually happen, we'll have that conversation then. But for the time being, it's the same thing I'll bring up for the Blue Boys plat, but
Mm-hmm.
plats are mainly meant to be a placeholder to further amplify the effectiveness of a future Zenkai down the road. That's the only thing I view them as at this point because only through a few exceptions have we seen units get plats and we're like, oh damn, like they're really good now. Like holy shit, they're an actual threat. It's not a common occurrence. It just isn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Again, it's a matter of where for me, why would you use them?
I mean that also begs the question that you mentioned. Like he's literally direct competition for Ultra UI, and Ultra UI is he's got better stats, better kit. He stops the switch and locks the opponent in. Like he pops main, he nullifies endurance for X amount of timer counts, so you can just rush and get the kill. Like what would warrant that? I mean it's
Nothing.
kind of sad to be honest. But what do you think, Glow? Do you have this unit or have you ran into him at all? Do you think this plat has done anything for him?
I think he's nothing too crazy. He's solid. I agree with what Desla's saying with these plats. Except when it comes to these ultras. I think with the ultras, they're actually trying a bit in some shape and way to try and make them meta. They're giving them a lot of things that would actually, like the things they're getting on their platinum equips, because
Mm-hmm.
apparently these new ones are called plat ones, are called platinums. The old ones are technically uniques. What they're giving these units are essentially like massive stat buffs on one, and then the other two are just essentially two slots are just uniques. And I think that's like a good thing. But I think Kyle Ken was supposed to be the test dummy for this, for ultras, because if you look at Omega, Omega got 30% to HP, 70% damage inflicted, one level of core draw speed, and 35% to all stats. And then later on, he gets another 60% damage inflicted when all three allies are like GT,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they gave him endurance, which is what he needed the whole time. But you look at Kaioken, he got 50% to both stats, but then he only got 20% HP, 50% key recovery, and 70% damage inflicted. There's you can tell that specifically when it came to the ultras, they wanted to start off with Kaioken because of all the ultras, he's probably one of the most hated. Well, let's not act like Kaioken when he was first here was not one of the worst times to play the game. The game was
Mm-hmm.
shitty. Like no one's gonna lie and like sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, it was a fun time." No, it wasn't. That's not a lie. But I think they wanted to use him as a test dummy and see, okay, get him out of the way at least now, and let's not go too crazy on him. I expect every ultra that comes after him to be way better with their plats. I think Kaioken, it's all right for what they gave him. They gave him some nice destruction. They made his comboing and like charge stepping, his ability to charge step, like it's more fluid now, and I think that's good and that works. I think certain ultras are some can be really I don't know. It's like I look at some of these ultras that could possibly get it, not counting the free to plays. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
counting the first two, but some of them need a lot more than others do. Broly has an identity crisis. They don't know if they want him to be offensive or defensive. USG really just needs cut pen and card cost reduction. He barely needs anything. USV, I honestly don't like USG and USV have like they have USG and USV have stuff that's like if fusing SV and fusion GB didn't exist and these guys got plats, then we're looking at two ultras that just jump back to top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could jump back up to top 10 with these new plats. I think Kid Buu arguably could
Oh, for sure.
with Regen or PO. I think Rose, we gotta see what the hell they're doing with Future. So that's off the table for now. But like Hit could be top 10 again if reps that strike reps got some help. But it's like you're giving us these ultras that are potentially gonna get these plats, but it's like, what's their home?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I mean, the only home that I would think is Proud because you're going to be able
Yeah.
to use your full six. But outside of that, I mean, in normal PvP, you're not running him over, Ultra UI for sure. But then also, like on the last third slot, they give you additional abilities once you hit 7-star, which the only way to hit that is by getting him twice at a 0.025 drop rate. So I think that's more of like the gotcha mechanic instead of just getting the additional uniques for free, which mind you, the ones that matter are the ones that at plus 7 stars, like the 70% damage inflict. Outside of that, I don't
Mhm,
see no additional damage besides the base stat increase from slot one. So,
mhm.
like, I feel like that was a miss. But again, we'll just have to see if this even makes a relevant impact, which we've already seen. He's nowhere near to be found. So, uh,
Not it's not like it's not to say that he's bad. Like if I'm putting him on a tier list, he's in like 15 he's like 15-20 range.
mm-hmm.
Like not even I would say even maybe 12/13 to 20 range, which is pretty good for an ultra his age who arguably wasn't even top 30 or 40 before this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty significant jump.
Yeah, but is he doing enough damage though? That's my biggest question. Because he doesn't
From what
have.
I from what I saw, he does all right. Like it's nothing bad. Like if you don't have Ultra UI Omen and you need a blast yellow on your team, Kyle Kyle Ken is a great option. If you don't have if you want to run leader him on let's say Blast Regen or Blast PO, or even say fuck it, you want to run Sun Fan with him on leader on or any blast setup, he's not bad. He's not bad. It's just there's other options, but like this is a consolidation prize where you can honestly just feel happy with it.
Yeah. So if anyone who's a fan of like the Kaioken Goku, they'll be happy to try to use him and make somewhat of an impact in the meta, or like do
Yeah,
fairly decent with him in the higher ranks. I mean, don't expect to turn your
yeah,
brain off and be like, Ultra G4 type status, but I mean, with the right plays, you can get your vanish back and do some cool tricks. Maybe take on a unit here or there. But
yeah, for sure.
we'll have to see how that kind of plays out as time moves on. If he'll just either people will play him more or just completely throw him to the wayside. Now, what about this free to play Goten? Like, I've seen his kit, I've seen him be played, and it seems like more of just a free to play unit that does some good support. We'll veto to you, Desla. What do you think about this free to play Goten? Is he doing anything in the meta right now, or is he hard sleep?
I'll keep it a buck as someone who is an avid Sudden Failure user. He's pointless. There's really no other way around it to go ahead and phrase it. Again, he has no home because you're not using him over Oldhan. Just plain simple. And on movies, you're not using him over UGF. So it's a situation of where there's no need for him at all because of the color choice they went with him. He could have been actually decent if they made him, I don't know, yellow or something like that, but they didn't do that. And I think Rye put it best when he did his showcase on the guy where he just isn't doing enough to warrant usage.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the free-to-play 18 to draw, for God's sake, for the anniversary, and she is doing 1,000,000 times more than this Goten is. To where Goten feels like a liability, 18 feels like a serious, contributing part of the team that makes it a cohesive unit. And you can see that with her support, sub-count reduction, Dragon Ball destruction. Again, she's got a lot going on, and this Goten has none of that.
Yeah.
It feels like we made 18, and then we regressed, a year plus with the free-to-play units, and we're back to fucking stinky ass, purple Kefla, goddamn Majin Vegeta, green Fusions and Monster. We're talking the bottom of the barrel.
Bottom
and
of the barrel.
It's just I'm sorry, man. There's no point in using him. There's none at all. I'm sorry, but if you are seriously in a position to where for his tags you need to use him, then you are not prioritizing the right units to summon on.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. There's no reason on God's green earth why you should have to use this guy. There just isn't.
I agree. A purple hybrid, if you haven't summoned for the ultimate Gohan, you done missed the train for that purple hybrid because he's him. He is definitely him. Top 3, he's him. But this Goten, defense wise, defense is great, but he's a defense unit. So that's what you usually would expect out of that. But outside of disruption and stuff like that, he's providing support to specific tags the Gokus and the Gohans of the world. Outside of that, there's nothing else that I can see. Question mark. But, hey, the defensive stats are good. Almost sitting at 200k double when you fully boost them up. What do you think, Glow? Do you think this Goten is usable, or did they miss the mark by a large mile here?
This Goten, his biggest problem is his color. I think his kit-wise, he does what he wants to do solidly. He wants to be a debuffer. He wants to remove stuff, buff effects like Nullify Endurance. He heals and gives good support for Sun fans, specifically Gohans and Gokus. But, hey, you're purple.
So
purple is completely fine right now.
You have Ultan. You're competing with Ultan, and then you.
As a color, there's nothing stopping you if you're purple, unless your name is Yellow Gogeta, and that's the only unit you have to be scared for.
What about Super Baby 2 though?
Yeah, he's solid, but he's not gonna be super consistent unlike Gogeta.
Yeah, Baby's biggest thing is his anti-Saiyan support. His ability to end combos. Baby's also his damage really pops off when you have a dead ally or you land a green card, because then by that point he gets the ability to be type neutral on entry.
Yes, sir.
Dang. Yeah. Well, for this Goten again, outside of his defensive stats, you did mention a good point that he does remove buffs when you pop the Rising Rush or what is it, using Awakened Arts or whatnot,
or ults or I think special moves.
Looks like it's just Ultimate Arts, Awakened Arts, or Rising Rush. So blue cards are free to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yep.
Dang. But what about you, Opsto? Have you gone against this free-to-play Goten? I know you're currently on the high with the free-to-play 18. This seems failed as a comparison at this point.
Because again, Goten is trying to compete for a slot on hybrids as a purple. He's never gonna touch Ultan. And on movies, what do you have for movies like
UGF.
UGF? Yeah, UGF. Never gonna touch that slot either. Like, does Goten have some stuff in his kit that is arguably worthwhile? Like a little bit of support can do okay damage. Yeah, but you're not gonna get any value out of him that like Ultan or UGF aren't going to do, and just do like 50 billion times more. Like you said, if you compare him to another recent support like free to play with 18, it's fucking night and day.
Plus, 18 wasn't really competing with anybody. Like, there was no other
Exactly.
yellow Majin Buu saga you were running.
Or Android.
That's true.
Exactly.
I mean, you can cope the gammas, and the gammas can still be okay, but you're not gonna get the consistent support and disrupt like with 18.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, that makes perfect sense. So, I mean, from what it sounds like, if you don't have the units above, which is the Alt Han or the Ultra Golden Frieza, don't even bother using him because
I mean, like if you main both teams, being movies and hybrids, chances are you're going to have those two units, especially because Ultan is a fucking anniversary unit.
mm-hmm.
And UGF came back right before the anniversary.
Yep.
Exactly.
And if you didn't summon for any of those units during the anniversary, I don't know what you were smoking because you done missed the bus on that one.
Unless you don't main the team.
I mean that too.
Hi.
Well, of course, because Androids only, and you're doing
Yes.
fine anyway, so you're set. They gave you that free to play 18. That's all you needed.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
Yep. So let's move
You
on
right.
to this
You tough,
Super
right?
Saiyan.
I'll still be fine for like the next like 2 months or so if I don't get any buffs.
How much CC you
2
got stacked
months.
up right now?
I got just under 70k.
Jeez. Yeah, whatever comes out, it'll be maxed out for sure. So let's talk about this Super Saiyan Broly that just got Zenkai'd here. First off, I'll say he's going to have the ultimate value by him being a HP bench and a powerful opponent Zenkai buffer. So that already gave him immense value. But overall, his kit. We'll start off with you, Glow, since you're the movie main. Did they miss the mark on his defense, or is he usable? What's going on with him?
He's usable, but he's nothing great. Like, he's usable, but everybody knows his main value was his bench. Like, being an HP bench that is also a Zenkai buffer is probably the biggest value you can have as a Zenkai. Like, if we look at all the current Zenkais, the only ones that actually have HP, let me see. I'll pull up every Sparking that is a Zenkai. It has HP. Only 9 exist. And mind you, half of them, they avoided the most obvious thing to do. Like, Bergamo is his Z ability, Universe Survival Saga. Okay, his Zenkai ability should be Universe Survival Saga. It's Red Rival Universe. Stupid as hell. The Red Goku, Kakarot Goku. His shit is it's a free to play one. It's free to play for Red Saiyans. It's whatever. Yellow Gotenks. That's perfect for Fusion Warriors. This new Broly. He is literally auto perfect every single yellow PO unit that ever drops from here on out. This Broly is his best friend. There's a reason there's a reason anytime LOE gets a purple unit, the first unit you look at is Chilled. Because Chilled is what, 20, what is it, 22? 20% HP and 18% to health restore. That's 18% to health restore on additional 20% HP is crazy. Fusing OG purple SV, 30% to a strike attack, strike defense, and then 12% HP. That's cracked. That's great for every purple Saiyan. It's stupid that it's not Fusion Warriors, but it is what it is. Purple 21. Every single purple android that comes out is gonna love her. Yellow Bardock. Any blast yellow Saiyan is gonna love him. And you think about it, like, okay, like, yeah, they like half of the when they actually get the Z abilities right, these are benches that will always be in the game. Like SV bench will always exist. Will always be there. Bardock will always be a great bench. Chilled, Gotenks, 21. Broly will always be great benches. I'm not talking about Cabba. Cabba's dog shit. And Bergamo, they really fumbled with Bergamo, but that's a whole other thing. But then you look at all the other possible HP benches, and you start to realize that the ones they haven't given it to would actually be cracked as hell for like the game. Red Gaku. every single red Gaki unit gets cracked. Pan. If Pan ever becomes Red Sun Fam, Red Hybrids, or Red Movies,
It's over.
best believe you will see people raging and quitting about it, her coming back with a Zenkai. You look at even yellow the yellow kid Gohan. If he gets a Zenkai, the first thing people are gonna think of if it's hybrids, people gonna slap him to with FG. And I'm telling you right now, they're gonna hoe him and do him dirty like they did the Blue Goku, and they're gonna make him Saiyan Saga. Same thing with Mai too. Mai is Future and Girls. I feel like they might give her Future because that's the obvious thing, but I feel like the devs in their all-knowing, sometimes stupidity, they're gonna give her Girls.
If they give her girls, I'm going there and I'm gonna knock on their front door and be like, what the hell are you guys doing? That doesn't make any sense.
Sense. But yeah, like HP benches are some of the best is always like a mandatory bench to have in the game. And to be also a Zenkai buffer, like you can't ask for too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. But with his overall kit on what he's doing, I think his next gimmick from the Zenkai is getting his ult twice. But like, is that gonna make him worth using? Because even
Hell
then,
no.
he doesn't nullify endurance on his ult, but he also is doing additional damage to the bench. Have you ran him at all or not yet?
I ran him a bit. I'll be honest with you, you don't need him. Like as a unit to fight, you don't need him. He's just bench. Like is the stuff that he does cool, yeah, but some of it is really made stupid. Like the way he gets cover null from either one, if I remember correctly, it's like what, Dead Ally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get cover null when no, you get cover null if there's a defeated enemy battle member. You get the ult if you have a dead ally. Yeah, which is dumb. Like it's so dumb, but he can work all right. I don't think it's great.
Yeah, he also gets cover null when the
The
enemy attack
opponent,
is over.
yeah, so he gets cover null like 4 times.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that activates on when the attack is over. So if they tap attack you like 3 times, then you're done. No more
Yeah.
cover null.
It's terrible. So
Because there'll be situations where your opponent will tap attack you out. That counts as one proc for cover null. Say your opponent like tries to tackle you and touches you. That's a second count for the cover null. And now you just lost 2 procs in the 5 counts.
mm-hmm.
It's dumb.
And also you have to live the combo too. Looking at his defenses, like for Zenkai, 192, 193, that's
Yep.
hella low. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking there. But overall, I mean, I think we see his true value is just being certified bench for any yellow PO. So, but what about you,
Yeah.
Desla? What do you think about this unit overall? Is he usable or is just certified bench?
For Broly, I mean, I'm not gonna have many profound thoughts on it. He's certified bench, but he'll obviously age gracefully in that regard because I mean, you really can't beat buffing HP and buffing the tag that your Z ability is tied to. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Again, there's no reason to use him over that. Any yellow PO unit he's competing with gaps him, and it's not close. So it's a matter of where like there's just no reason to use him besides just slap him on a team's bench and calling it a day. So yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much sums him up overall of where his usage lies. But what about you, Obsto? Do you agree with him being certified bench, or is there like hidden usage with this unit?
I mean, if you really hate Sunfam, sure, go ahead. But he is certified, arguably best bench in the game.
That is true. Certified best bench. But if you bring him in the proud mode, I mean, since he's a more relevant Zenkai, you might be able to get away with using him in your
again, like against Sun Family, from what I've seen, because I'm obviously not gonna use him. He does okay against Sun Family, but again, like it's Sun Family. That's like one tag out of like 50 million.
That's true. And if he runs against GT, it's a wrap. He's not going to be able to do much.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that wraps it up for about this.
So again, like certified best bench in the game.
So then let's go ahead and move on to the Blue Boys unique equipment. There's been a lot of talk about him getting his unique, and people have been super excited for it. Desla, how about you? Have you used this unit at all with the unique equipment?
No. The reason why I have not done that is just because the fact that it's what I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Kaioken Blue Goku's plat, or I guess unique, whatever the terminology is for both these ultras and then LFs, whatever at this point. The same problem I mentioned earlier stands true with this, especially because the fact that, again, all of these plats, uniques, whatever you want to call them, serve to do is to be a placeholder for what the eventual Zenkai will serve to amplify and then make much more cohesive, and then make it to where the unit like feels brand spanking new again. And it's like with CMZ, for instance. Again, his plat when it came out, it made no fucking sense. It was like, why would you give a unit that's a glass can the ability to heal and shit? It like made why? it
Mm-hmm.
just it made zero sense. He Zenkai's, and now it all clicks because he actually has the ability to tank hits decently well, and on top of that, he's healing a shit ton after taking hits. Like, it's ridiculous how much he's healing off of. Like, I mean, he's doing crazy amounts of damage. He's, crazy sniping like potential. I mean, the works. He's doing a lot. And that doesn't happen until that Zenkai arrives to complete the package. And again, there's only so much they can put in one equipment before it basically is just a Zenkai. And at that point, why not just do a Zenkai? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Where again, this plat, I don't care what you did with it, it was never going to be enough. It just wasn't going to be. The unit is coming up on being 3 fucking years old. For God's sake, it wasn't going to happen. We've
Yeah.
had so much power creep, so much new things implemented, the works. It was not feasible. Um, it's like I mentioned before that all these equipments serve to do is just make the unit usable to where if you want to revisit them, that you're not going to literally want to like pull your hair out and try and like fucking throw your phone across half the country from being just
My
at
gosh.
your wits end with this shit. But again, overall, just it's a matter of where right now I wouldn't even bother using them like in a serious competitive fashion until that Zenkai does eventually arrive, which could happen soon. I don't know what the turnaround time would be for getting a plat into a Zenkai, but maybe Fest. I don't
Maybe.
know. We'll have to see. But again, overall, just I mentioned before, but no reason to use them until that Zenkai comes around.
Yeah. Also, they were very particular with the stats he would receive, such as the strike and blast defense and strike and blast attack, of having to run a combination of the God Key, Sun family, and Vegeta family. So if you wanted to put him like a powerful opponent on the leader slot, you can't even do that because you would lose a good chunk of the damage and the tankiness from it, which is weird. So
Right.
I don't know what their point is. But what about you, Glow? Do you think do you agree with Desla of what he was saying? Is this being a placeholder, or is there some value of using the Blue Boys now?
I'll be honest with you. A guy tried to tell me they're gonna be a menace. I could not help but laugh. I could not help but laugh. I love the Blue Bros. They are a fun unit for when they came. This plat was meant to do nothing but make them seamless. They
Hmm.
may hit a little bit hard now, but I guarantee you, by the end of the month, they will fall off into obscurity once again. These plats for units like them mean absolutely nothing until they Zenkai. Even VT. People say, oh, VT is a great option to run on their team. Where are they? Why aren't you running VT? Hmm? 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 Since y'all want to be talking so much, I'm not seeing these VTs being ran. Like, what are we doing? So, like, once VT or like even Blue Bros, once Blue Bros Zenkai, then we're gonna really see how well their plat does. Because look what happened with CMZ. CMZ's plat was a lot of people considered dog shit. Now on his Zenkai, it's considered amazing because you can bring CMZ to 1 HP. But if he's still alive, that plat procs and he's healed right back to full.
It's crazy. It's like he's got two lives because of the amount of healing that he's doing.
Yep. And because of that, like now I'm starting to really consider like, dang, if that like look at what happened with Jiren, Purple Jiren, when he got his Zenkai. His plat was absolutely insane for what it did for him in conjunction with his Zenkai. Now the way I'm seeing it, even though Broly has his own flaws and his own issues, his plat helped him a lot in conjunction with his Zenkai. That's why I'm looking especially forward to units like Dragon Fist, because I'm like, all right, his main focus of what he wants to do, that's what his plat did. What is his Zenkai really going to like help focus on? But we're gonna have to see what his plat really, what how the plat really ages when they get their Zenkai. But for now, I think it's solid. You gave them the base stats they want, because when they dropped, they were extremely low stat wise, because people, they kind of knew Mono Purple was going to happen. So they gave them their stats, they gave them their pures, their damage, their HP, and like the little and the car and the what's it called, the cover note that they wanted. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have to see how that ends up aging in the future.
Yeah. And what about you, Opsto? Do you think this plat will have any move to the meta, or do they move from like top 50 to top 49?
Which plat?
Exactly. The Blue Bros.
Oh, I completely forgot about them. I ran into them like for the first time today, and they got fucking shredded by Super 17.
Jeez.
So that's all I got.
Well, I guess that's all that
So
needs to be said. Still getting shredded.
tells you all you need to know.
like again, they're usable, but are you really gonna use them over other better options that are out right now?
Absolutely not. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's like using like on a good day. On a good day, like if someone is having a great day and they're catching them with the blue bros, sure they'll look great, but 99% of the time that's not gonna happen.
That's true. So,
When you can have like other better units that are way more consistent at what they do, and just win you like infinitely more games.
yeah. But do you think he'll show any kind of value in proud mode, or is still even then don't even bother?
I mean, sure, if you really need like a sixth unit for proud mode, go ahead, go nuts.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, I think that wraps up all of the news recap and catching up from the week off. I mean, outside of that, I think we took a really good time to take that week off because it was kind of silent on the Legends campaign since, the after party events were ending, and then now this new event is now wrapping up or starting up. So from here on in, we should see quite a few good things happening in the game. Like we've got the new Broly banner that's about to drop next week, which we'll spend more time breaking down the LF Broly along with the EX Gohan and the Sparking Videl. Seems that she's going to be a really good support once she's released, so we'll talk more about that next week. On to Dragon Ball related news. Now, I know there's been some additional trailers dropping for Dragon Ball Sparking. There's also this kind of like Dota 4v4 Dragon Ball project that's being worked on. Seems like a League of Legends kind of style game, so, seems really
I can't
interesting.
lie. I can't lie. This one they got, this Dragon Ball game they got, it's like League of Legends. It's like Pokemon Unite. I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you this right now. This game has two options for its lifespan. Either it's gonna die within a year, or League of Legends might have just found their competition.
Mm.
And it simply depends on how the hell they handle this. I'm not a massive MOBA guy. I don't really play that. I don't really play it as much. But I played it a little bit. And I like peep shit from every once in a while. And the best way for them to handle this game is, you give constant buffs and updates. You
Mm-hmm.
keep track of what's going on in the community, and you keep shit interesting. You don't let some stupid shit happen where one nigga is massively overpowered and there's no reason to only run that person. Obviously, keep the core mechanics cool. Let the fans get a bit used to, okay, this is how the game plays. These are things how it does. And if you got any cool ideas, slowly implement them. Don't get no burnout. And then you do, okay, all this stuff in the first few months. And then you guys will get nothing for the next year. Don't do that. I think however they handle this game can like really impact like how long this game lasts. Because right now the longest lasting games we're seeing for this kind of content is like We're seeing Legends is like what? We just passed 60 years.
Yep.
Dokkan is hitting what? Year
9 to year 10.
9?
It's gonna be 10 years old in a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about to be 10 years old. Like, bro, we're about to hit like Dokkan dropped when bro, I was still in high school when Dokkan dropped. I remember the first day it dropped on Global and seeing Rhyme post about it. I'm like, and dropped the whole video about it. I was like, damn, first day Global dropped, I remember downloaded it on my school's iPad. And I'm like, yo, how long does this game gonna last? I still played that shit every single day. Bro, I remember I was in the army and I wasn't gonna be able to summon from because I was in training for the summer. Hey, I'm gonna pre-buy all this CC, all these Dragon Stones. You go summon for me, and then I came back. I remember it was second year in too, bro. I'm telling you, they could really make that game last for years, but it's only if they don't half-ass it.
Yeah. So it's gonna really take like a strong team to just continue to put life into the game. Like teams similar size to what League of Legends has, which I mean it's gonna start off small and they're gonna have character releases here and there, but like there's some potential there because I know there's some people who really are into like the Dota kind of style games, and if it's super competitive where they're doing tournaments and shit, man, it could another game where Dragon Ball kind of takes the world by storm. So we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, and then also Dragon Ball Daima, I mean, we're getting closer to that release. They released a trailer of like a couple weeks ago, but haven't heard much news since then. But that wraps it up for this week's episode. Again, make sure that you guys follow us on social media. We all have Twitter accounts now, so definitely follow Desla, Glow, Opster, and myself. I do stream from time to time. Glow also streams, every week, every couple weeks, or multiple times per week. So make sure you turn those notifications on so you're able to check us out when we do stream. And that wraps it up. So outside of that, I hope you listeners have an awesome rest of your week.
See you.
See y'all.
See you.